Hey, it's JY here. Before I get back to my video, I just want to give a shout out to all the love and support y'all been bringing me. Make sure y'all follow me on all platforms. Hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and subscribe button. Now back to the video. What's up, y'all? Welcome into the Eye to Eye with JY podcast. And on today's podcast, we will have our first guest, Chicago Catholic All-League Conference player, College of DuPage, 2022 interception leader, father of Nevada Edwards, Jarin Edwards. What's up with you, man?
What's going on, Zach? Appreciate you having me on the show. You know, it's an honor being your first guest.
Yeah, I appreciate you for joining the podcast, man. It's a blessing, bro.
Always.
So how's your day going today, man?
It was decent. We did a little combine. Could have had better numbers, but
right. What numbers you did? What was your 5, 10, 5?
So don't know. He didn't tell us.
They just got the numbers up, so like.
Oh, they posted them?
Yeah, they posted them. God,
I swear to God.
Yeah, I'm on like the top 5 percentile right now, like top 15 in every player. So like, decent numbers. All right. So today we're going to be talking about Jarin and his story. So right now we're going to be doing his upbringing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Jarin, talk to me about growing up in Joliet, Illinois.
You know, it was had a little.
First of all, like Joliet, where is Joliet? Like
Joliet.
It's called Joliet.
Joliet, though.
All right. So like, tell me what it's about in Joliet.
Growing up in Joliet, I tried my best to stay out the way. I was always growing up in football. Parents put me in, sports, try to stay out the streets and stuff, but it gets a little rough over there.
Rough. What you mean by rough?
Like, it's gang activities and stuff. I lost my brother to the streets.
Yeah.
We just had like it was more like family. Like I never wanted to be in the streets, but like when your family in the streets, it's only so much you can do.
Like you pretty much like there by association, pretty much.
Yeah, but like I said, grew up playing football, playing baseball, basketball, like just trying to stay out the way. Always was in sports.
Be productive.
Always wanted to be a college athlete, yeah. So that kept me out the way.
Yeah. So where is Joliet? How close is Joliet to the city?
Just like 45 without traffic, about an hour with traffic. Not too far from the city.
So like in the Chicago little landscape,
yeah.
Where would you be like considered from? Like, people say like they from out west, down south, or like is that even categorized in the Chicago?
I wouldn't say. I would just say Joliet. It's not really. It's outside Chicago. So I wouldn't say down south, but it is south of Chicago though.
Yeah. So like, you said you played 3 sports. What was it like playing 3 sports in high school, or did you just stop in high school?
Really, middle school. I ran a little bit of track in high school. But mostly that was all middle school stuff because, I love football. It was always football. Football was always my favorite. I always excelled in football more. But, basketball was decent. Basketball was probably my second favorite. Baseball, I played a lot of baseball. Baseball was boring, though. Like, I just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I don't like baseball, bro. Baseball is just not a good sport for me.
Not for me, But I like to hit and run the bases. That's turned, that's exciting. But other than that, football though, I was always wanted to play football. So once I hit high school, I specified and did a lot of off-season training for football.
Like to really lock in football.
Yes, sir.
So like, what was your position when you started playing football?
Shoot, let me think. Shit, damn near D-line.
D-line?
Nose tackle, damn near.
Swear.
Yes, sir.
Swear. About how much would you weigh? Like you kind of like small right now. Like you kind of like feel like a skinny. So like, how'd you play D-line?
I feel like real dogs play every position I play every position on the football field.
Yeah,
I literally play every position. I just feel like them first years, had my hand in the dirt.
Right. So then, when you got to high school, what made you? What position really did you gravitate towards?
I feel like it was around like 7th grade where I was like looking at the DBs in the NFL, looking at the DBs in college, and I'm like, you know what, like that's what I want to do. Like, I just feel like they, in my opinion, were like the best athletes on the field. Yeah. And they were, I don't know, I always just gravitated towards defensive back. So like ever since 7th grade, I started playing DB.
So like what names would you like remember growing up watching?
So the Troy Palumalus, the Ed Reeds,
right?
The Rail Reeveses,
Tight.
Looking at them.
So like the old, pretty much like early 2000s games, like physical, hard-hitting safeties.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I grew up with 2 older brothers. I know I talked about my other older brother, but my oldest brother, that's really who I looked up to the most. Like,
right.
He played receiver mostly, and I just knew, like, I don't know. He was always like, that's just who I looked up to. But I never wanted to play receiver for real.
Right.
I just always looked up to him, and modeled a little bit of my game after him. And my other older brother, Jaden, he's still playing. He at Benedictine right now, so he plays receiver too. So
that's decent. So how many siblings do you have in general?
I have 2 brothers, and a sister.
So 2 older brothers and their sister. Is she younger than you?
No, she's older than me.
So you're the baby of the family.
Yes, sir.
Ah, yes, sir. Okay. Yeah. Baby of the family. All right. So like, talk about more about College of DuPage and just talk about your journey and like what it was like being at JUCO in DuPage.
Yeah.
Like a little brief little summary.
Yeah. So they always say JUCO like is rough, and that's true. Like they say like JUCO college jail, and I had to wake up. Let's see. We had practice at 6 a.m. I had to get up at like 4 because it took almost like 30, 40 minutes to get there.
Right.
So I had to wake up at 4 a.m. every day for basically 2 years. So that was rough. And drive there. Basically lived out my car. Didn't really have a lot of food to eat. I had to, work a job. I had to work a job to buy food. So like working a job, being an athlete, and being a student.
Right.
It definitely got rough. So JUCO not for everybody.
Yeah,
not for everybody.
It shows tough skin for sure. Absolutely. It definitely shows tough skin. Like a lot of people don't realize just like the ins and outs of JUCO, and like just like it's kind of hard. Like people just takes a lot of things for granted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like coming from that and coming here, like our dorms right here, CAF right here, training room right here, don't gotta wake up super early, like. All that is like so much appreciated, and I feel like if you were to notice, or like anybody notice, like you feel me, like I'm always working, I'm always like you can see it in me, like I'm grateful for that. So that's something I take pride in, like being grateful, knowing where I came from, how hard I worked to get to this. You feel me? So.
All right, so you brought up Roosevelt. What made you come to Roosevelt? What was your deciding factor out of your 2 years of JUCO to come to Roosevelt?
Really like obviously everybody wants to go to JUCO, get that D1. I was waiting because I had Roosevelt. They were looking to offer me like my first redshirt year just off practice film, but I tried to go back, get that D1, but stuff happens. Life happens, so I just was like, it's time to go and develop a little more, because I feel like I wasn't developing at the rate I needed to be at JUCO. Not to like disrespect or down, you feel me, Roosevelt. Like, it's a great school. We got great players here. Yeah. So I just feel like being downtown was decent. I felt like we could make a lot of like connects down here. I feel like it's just like a little bit more opportunity. Not too far from home. It was just like 40 minutes, like we talked about earlier.
Right.
So I just I don't know. I just came here. I got the vibe. Well, when I first took my visit to Arlington Heights, our facility, Arlington Heights.
Who was your recruiter?
Lund.
Coach Lund was your recruiter?
Yeah, Coach Lund, yeah.
My recruiter was Coach Davis, but I think he recruited more of the high school guys, and I think Coach Lund was doing a lot of the JUCO transfers.
Yeah. So yeah, Lund was taking care of that. He should show me the stuff. I just got the vibe. Like, I liked how stuff was being ran. Yeah. And then they said I didn't even know we had a campus downtown. Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So they said, oh yeah, then you could take your other visit downtown. I'm like, downtown?
What you mean downtown?
Like, downtown. Like,
Yeah.
okay. So you go up, come downtown, and you feel me? They showing us the stuff. I'm like,
ain't nothing better than
it's
downtown.
decent.
Bro.
Like, you feel me? They showed us a little door. You know, the
Right.
view is decent. So I'm like, you know what? I mean, and you know, the money was there. You know,
Yeah.
scholarship. So
like, what would you say would be the final factor that you had in place to come to Roosevelt?
I don't know. I know I had taken a visit to St. X,
Right.
Our rival school,
rival,
so to speak.
AKA
our rival.
The ops.
The ops.
For sure.
Yeah, it's still Cougar K. We ain't forgetting that. But yeah, I had taken a visit there. My homie go there, and I like how they had it. I could tell they had a good tradition there. You know, I could tell they were a good school. I don't know, like, came here and it was just like, someone was telling me, like, you know, this is where I need to be.
Right.
It was just like one of those things I just went on my gut. I can't really put my finger on it, but like, I was supposed to be here. So I think when I took the visit downtown, visit, that's when I was like, yeah, I need to come here, yeah. So
that's nice. So back to Roosevelt, your first couple practices, like, what was the feeling of like entering a new locker room and just like flowing within, just like knowing the guys, or just like coming into Roosevelt like as a football player? So when you started fall camp.
Yeah, so for the most part, you know, I had, like you said, just came from my JUCO, so that was a new locker room not too long ago. It's just like I don't really know, like, you know, just really just clocking in, and like, I don't know, I'm more of a I just let stuff play out. Like, I don't really like to force myself into any situations, or like, you know, try to fit in, so to speak. So
right. That's what a lot of people just don't realize. I would say, like, coming to Roosevelt, I would say, like, people, like, this is one thing I realized, a lot of people try to like fit in, because like we're from Chicago, so like people that are not from Chicago or like not around the area, they try to like act like they're just something they're not, to like feel like they're comfortable around people. Right. So I respect, that's one thing I respect about you when you first came in the locker room. Like, you just like, you were just going about your day, in and out, just flowing through the motions. Like, you were just always there. Like, you was always there, minding your business, doing it, clocking in, clocking out, like always staying to course.
Absolutely. You know, I came in here, you know, I still, you know, even though, you know, we all cool and stuff now, you know, joke around and stuff, have fun, but when it's time to lock in, you know,
always got
locking in. So I was just always on a mission, and I just came in here and just handle my business. Like, really, that's really what I was focusing on. Obviously the relationships, you know, happen, but I just let that type of stuff happen organically, like they did. So I just, you know, just really just come in, do my job, and let everything flow. So, you know, that's take care of itself, you know.
All right, so like one of our first questions I want to ask was our first impressions of each other. So I'm gonna go off and give you my first impression of you.
Okay.
I remember for the 2 weeks that I was practicing, I remember that on, I think it was either the 1s or 2s reps, you were flying. Like, I seen a dude with a bunch of hair in the back of his helmet flying around. He was getting picks. Like, you getting picks. You had a little fingertip, paintings, not paintings, but like tape around your fingertips. I think so. Or like,
not in practice.
Not in practice. Did you wear gloves in practice?
Yeah, I wore gloves in practice. I wore fingertips the first game I came back.
Okay. But you had some type of gloves that I really recognize you from your gloves and your helmet. So that's something that I realized you were just flying around out there. And then I remember when we shared the same field. Yeah. You had it was 7-on-7, and we gonna roll the clip. I was running the scene. You clocked me. Yeah. You clocked me. You had knocked the wind out of me, and you had me losing. I'm not gonna lie. You had me losing, man. Okay. Having on my hands and knees, and then I remember the first hit of contact. I'm like, oh, I'm like, nah, there's no way. I can't breathe, coach. I can't breathe.
Yeah.
All I hear is like my guys in the back laughing. I'm like, bro, I'm like, but ever since I noticed that you hit me, I'm like, all right, like it's a football play. I don't think that was a dirty play. I just think like it's like football is a physical game. So
right.
I kind of like respected you after that. Like I kind of like started looking at you more like, all right, let me see how you coming now. Like just like in general how he is a football player, because you was a new safety. I get you trying to like feel like you was trying to like make a mark and set a tone for how you was coming as a football player. And then I remember one thing about me, I just always gotta have to just like I had to get a get back. So I remember it was like the next practice or so.
Yeah, it was like the next one.
The next practice, I ran a seam and I got you back. And then my homie sir in the background like, get back, got no time and date, shorty. Get back, got no time and date, shorty. I'm like, tee me up, sir, tee me up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like I remember that was one of my first impressions with you.
For sure. Shoot, I mean, yeah, that was probably my first impression as well. Once I did that, honestly, it really was like I really wasn't thinking like, oh, I'm about to go out here, I'm about to, set the tone, I'm about to go hit somebody. It was more so, it was the first day of pads. It was the first day to put shoulder pads on.
Yeah.
And, I got a little excited. So it just happened. It just happened. And
off instinct.
It was instinct. And I just, like, I knew, because it really wasn't even my zone. It was really supposed to be the corner.
Right.
And so I just had to fly over there. And I really wanted to go for the ball, but like, it was like one of those where it was like too late. And like I said, we just had the pads on. So like we was flying around and it happened. I really didn't mean to really hit you for real. Like, that was my fault. Instantly when I did, I was like, no, like you can see in the clip. Like I was like, no, I didn't mean to do that.
I seen it. I peeped it.
So yeah, like after that, really after when you had got your get back, I'm like, okay, I see what type of time we are,
You always going thump.
That's good though, like, the competition was there, feel me, making each other better. Iron sharp iron, so.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during the season, how would you say, like, what were some of the challenges that you faced during the season that you had this year?
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest ones leading up into it, all through camp really was just being away from my daughter. I didn't really like, it's one of those things I think like all parents can attest to this. Like one of those things is like, yeah, mind over matter, like don't let it affect you. But it kind of was one of those things where like, I just had my daughter. She was like only a couple months at this time. So just being away from her, like I could feel the distance and it definitely affected me a lot mentally. Had my mind, it was just hard to focus at times. It was kind of tough. And she was just being born. Like, like any new parents would say, like, it's just a very emotional time. Like it's a life-changing experience. And
you feel like you wanted to be there for your daughter, like having some key core moments with your daughter when she was just being freshly born.
Absolutely. Like just wanting to be with my daughter and not only missing out, but like, not only her needing me, but me needing her. Like, I needed my baby by me. Like that, feeling that distance, it played with me emotionally, mentally. So like, it was hard to focus. That was one of the challenges I had at first. And then, navigated through that. Ended up having a decent camp. And then right before our first game, pulled my hamstring. Day before the first game, pulled my hamstring, was out up until game 6, so like 5 weeks.
Yeah,
that was probably the next biggest challenge, and
which is overcoming it's like a nagging injury. I would say hamstring injuries are like just like injuries that you can like play through. Those are kind of the worst ones because you feel like you want to push yourself, but then you can't just overdo it because of the fact like that injury can just continue to be repetitive and just like continue just like affect you and like not play your 100%, even though you can't play 100% all the times, but just like knowing that you want to be out there when you can't, it's just, I feel like that's the hardest type of injury to overcome.
Nah, it's definitely was rough. I had re-aggravated it. I honestly feel like I could have came back a little bit sooner, but I pulled the trigger I shouldn't say way too soon, but too soon. And then it was like, kept nagging for more. If I would have waited a little bit, because like you said, you just want to get out there. You know, I see my brothers out there fighting, you know, going to war. Like any football player knows, like you want to go out there with your boys. Like
exactly,
it definitely messed with my head. You could relate, you know, you had your injury too. So like sitting out, that stuff's hard. It plays with your mental, you know, all about like identity and stuff as an athlete and all that stuff. And it was rough. So, but you know, overcame that. Did my rehab. Got back out there week 6. So.
And then you balled out. I remember you made some plays.
Balled out.
Made some plays.
Absolutely came back. Shoot, like the second drive I was in, had a nice little pick.
INT.
Not too long after, had the forced fumble and the fumble recovery.
See?
So like it was great coming back, and that was one of those moments where it was like this is God, right? This is God working through me. That was not me. Like there was times where I thought I was gonna have to sit out for the whole season.
Right.
So I came back, did that, and I just gave all glory to God, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. So amazing. Now that you're about to enter to your 4th year of playing college football, what type of mindset do you have going into this upcoming year?
Consistency and durability is one of the 2 things, especially coming off that injury. Like consistency and durability. I just want my play to be consistent. I want my recovery to be consistent. I want my, you know, sleep to be consistent. I want everything to be consistent. So when it comes game time, my game, everything's consistent. And I just want to, you know, day in, day out, take care of business. Definitely, obviously, get quicker, stronger, faster. That's always on the agenda on the off season.
For sure.
And just really playing with my mind and understanding the mental side of the game.
Right.
Because that's what separates. You know, that's when you start making those big separations.
Like
between the competition.
Between the difference of like a good player and a great player. That's one thing I recognized in my first year during spring ball. I started to watch film more. I started to like analyze my film, and then I'll watch the 2s, and then I watch the 3s. I'll be like, all right, let me look at their footwork and let me look at how they're doing it. And then when I'll get on the field, it would just look like second nature. It would be like muscle memory.
Right.
So it would just be like the game started to slow down. And then now I would say the next step I want to take is just be a smart football player. So the more smart football player you are, the more the game slows down, the more you can like elevate your game. So that's one thing I would say is a good thing to keep in mind, and also to just keep a good routine. Like you said, consistency. You told me all the things you want to be consistent at, and keeping a good routine, I would say, is going to be like a big help in keeping you consistent. So you talked about having a daughter at a young age because you're 22 right now.
Yes, sir.
So what is it like to be a student athlete with a daughter in the middle of college?
Yeah, so it definitely gets rough at times, you know, going weeks without seeing your baby. It's definitely tough because earlier in the year I tried to be in 2 different places at once, and that was like, you know, it's hard doing that too. So like, I told myself if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this right. So like, I go couple weeks at a time without seeing my daughter. So it gets rough, you know, feeling like you're missing out on some of those like key things, like, you know, like her just growing up, like, you know. So like, I mean, I get to the big stuff, but you know, I always wanted to be like in my daughter's life, or before I had kids, just in my kids' life every day. Like I always wanted to be like, I always wanted that. So when you have a baby at a time like this, no, it gets rough for sure. Like you just want to be a good dad, but you know, I want to be a good student athlete too. So like, you know how this goes. Like being a student athlete is a full-time job.
Job.
It's more than a full-time. So, you know, it gets rough at times, but I know like God doesn't make mistakes. So like my baby's here for a reason. I know I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
God gave me this dream, gave me this vision way before I had a child. She's just like, you know, she's a part of that vision now. So like it was unexpected, but you know, nonetheless, she's a blessing. I'm grateful she's here. And like I said, God doesn't make mistakes. So I'm just gonna endure this. And I know in the end, or whenever I'm done with my college career, I know I don't want to have any regrets. So if I give this everything I got, then I can't lose, and let God handle it. I can't lose.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I would say, as a student athlete, like, where were you when you found out you got the call that you're about to that you got a girl pregnant, that you about to have a daughter or a kid? I would say.
I don't know where I was, but it was in the summertime.
It was in the summer,
so I guess that's a
so
plus.
It was in the off season, so you wasn't really like focusing on school, like then it wasn't like the process of school, but like it was like, yeah. So like, tell me like more about like just like what it was like understanding that you're about to have a daughter and that you about to enter a football season with another life that you have to take care of.
It was intense, I would say. Like, you know how much, well, not necessarily stress. It's not so much stressful when you're preparing for a season. It is stressful, but it's more of an excitement.
Yeah.
It's more of an excitement.
Like, you're over, like, I would say for me, I was like over geeked, but I was just anxious. Like, I wouldn't say geek, I was just anxious. Like, I remember we talked with my mom. I would say, Mom, like, why can't we just fast forward until like August to like I can like really play football? And like one of the things she said, like, Jack, like, don't rush anything, because at the end of the day, like, you're putting in work right now, and like the work that you're going to put in consistently is going to show up on the field, and you're going to remember this conversation that like you just can't force anything. Like, you got to let things happen, just like flow with the way things are going to flow, and just like be patient, because the more you rush, like, you don't know what's going to happen. So
absolutely. And that kind of brings up the point I was about to say. You said, like, how did I feel preparing for a season? Like you say, you get excited and stuff. You want to show off your work.
Mm-hmm.
But once I'm preparing for a season of playing the sport that I love, and now I got to prepare to take care of a child for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of the same, but it's different. So, it was something that, I've been playing football my whole life. I'm familiar with this. Like, this is new. Like, I was honestly like really scared and nervous. I didn't really know how this was going to play out.
Right.
And on top of like being an athlete, student athlete, so it really threw me for a loop. Like, I didn't really know nobody really knows how to prepare to have a kid. I mean,
especially if it's unexpected,
in these circumstances, like, so it's kind of like one of those things, like, learn as I go. But like you were saying, what it forced me to do was take this stuff day by day, because it's real easy to think of it like, oh my gosh, like, I have a kid, I have to get ready for the season. Like, I I had to slow it down and just take it day by day. And that's a skill that I learned that I'm gonna have for the rest of my life. Like, no matter how big my dream will be or how big a goal is, I really understand the importance of taking it one step at a time.
The small steps.
And really being in the moment, because I really had no choice, because that was a lot at once, and I just felt like I was constantly thinking of everything all at once. So I had to really slow it down.
Yeah.
And that's something that like I could take away. So I just really learned how to slow it down, take it day by day, and really trust the process, because it can get easy to, So yeah.
So were you there for your daughters, like because like I know that you said that the mother of your child isn't, like, y'all have a relationship that y'all are co-parenting, right?
Yeah, co-parenting.
That's not like a girlfriend, but like that's just co-parent. So that's the mother of your child, you're the father. So you have to like really co-parent. So
absolutely.
Like, what is it like co-parenting with the mother of your child for Nevada?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. That's a tough one. Learning how to do that was, I would say, so far in my life, the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my life.
Yeah.
Because whether you're married to somebody and you're with them, or whether you're not with somebody, no matter the situation, having a child is very emotional. Like, that's something that I learned that I didn't know existed. Once my baby got here, just how much emotionally that changes me. Like obviously that it changes the hormones of a woman giving birth, but like I didn't understand that it was really gonna change my hardwiring, change me emotionally.
Because
so like
you have an attachment to something. That's
absolutely, it's a piece of me that
literally,
since we're not together, she has, you know, essentially control of a piece of me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an element of letting go, element of not trying to control the situation and give it to God. I really had to really get close with God because there was so many things out of my control. So I just had to release the want to control the situation.
Yeah.
Because I'm here playing football. It's hard for me to be a parent, let alone a co-parent in a situation where I'm not with the mother. So it was a very difficult thing that I had to learn a lot about myself. It took, you know, depths of myself that I didn't know existed up until this. So, cause like it takes a very emotional, mature person to deal with this.
To deal with a kid and also dealing with like co-parenting, because at the end of the day, y'all are not together, but y'all have one thing in common that is going to be there for the rest of y'all lives, and that will be your daughter. So
absolutely. So there's an element to that that's like is bigger than me. So no matter how I feel, it doesn't matter. My baby has to get taken care of, and I have to cooperate with the mom no matter how I feel, because now it's about the child. Right. So that takes definitely a level of maturity that like I was forced. That was another, like, just having a child alone, you gotta, you feel me, mature. But doing the co-parenting and doing it productively,
right,
that's another level that I'm still working on. But that's something that like it takes a lot of work.
And I would say it takes time. Like it was her first child too. Yeah. So y'all both learning how to deal with a child together and learning how to operate as co-parents, as y'all are both young adults entering life, and just like life is going to keep life in. That's one of my favorite sayings. Like life is going to just life is going to life for real. Yeah. And like when life happens, you just have to either fail or succeed, and it's hard to like even accept the fate of failing when it's another life like in your hands.
Right.
And I would say I'm friends with like 2 teen dads, and like a lot of them like are really like I would say like they're changing their life. Yeah. And it takes time to change your life when you don't know what you want to do in life, if you know what I mean. Like you're a student athlete, you're a college athlete, but at the end of the day, like we play football and we think that like the next level is the next step in football, but in all honesty, that's not for everyone. Now everyone's going to continue to play football after 4 years. It's just like you don't know what you want to do in life because you're still figuring yourself out as a young man. Right. So I would say that's something that I respect you more out of, just like you deal with a lot of circumstances, a lot of just like a lot of challenges of being a father and a dad and just like being an athlete as well, because not that many people know that you was a father. Like I didn't know that you was a father until later in the season. When you start posting your baby or you just like brung her to the games. I'm like, oh, like he's a dad. Like, oh, I fuck with that. Like that's cool. But now it's like I understand you more. Like I started to like gravitate towards you as a person. Like learning more about you makes me want to play for you harder, because like I know what you're doing. I know what you're dealing with. I know what you're going through. So like that just gravitates towards me to like, hey, when I'm feeling bad, or like when I'm just like not having the best day of playing football, I know that someone else is like having a whole nother life problem that I don't even have to deal with. I don't even know what's going on. And like, they're still doing this, playing football. They're still like lacing up the shoes. They're at practice. So it's like knowing more about you and like you and the challenge that you're facing with your daughter and just like co-parenting. Like I'm just going to genuinely just play for you, play harder for you, just play for you as a person, because I know what you're going through. And that's just the type of person I am. I always like to gravitate towards like real people. And one of the things that you always shown me is that you're real.
Appreciate that, bro. That's love, bro. That's love.
Yeah.
I definitely that makes me feel good hearing that, bro. And it's likewise, bro. That's like that's you know, it comes a point in time when, because we play this we play this sport. This sport is like war, you know.
Yeah.
It's like obviously it's like we want to move on to the next level. We want to, you know, like personal stats or whatever. But it comes a point in time in this game where you just fighting for the man next to you,
Literally.
and like that's what it turns into. So like I appreciate that, bro, and like other footballers will understand like. That's what the game. That's the hallmark of this game that you really won't understand unless you played this game. That, like, it's really about fighting for the dudes next to you, and when you do that, that's how you become a good team. Like that's how you become better at the game. So it's like it's
and
part
that
of the
brings
game.
the team a better bond. That's what I would say are better teams once you have a closer connection as teammates. I would say those are the best teams I've been a part of when you understand your teammates and just know what your teammates going through, or just like you just close with your teammates. The more you're close with your teammates, the more you'll play better. The more you'll I would say you get another like level, another gear when you're tired. Like, someone said pick it up, bet I'm gonna pick it up.
Sure.
Obviously my homies like go crazy on like I see you get a pick, bet now I'm gonna go in there and score. We've had complimentary football, so
yes, sir.
It's just like that.
100%.
So before I just start wrapping this up, a couple more questions about your daughter. I was saying, what is one of the most exciting things that you say that your daughter brought to your life?
Well, I'll just start where it all started with her. When I was in the delivery room and she was, coming through the womb of her mother, I would say the best way I could explain it, and I've said this a lot of times to people, is that it was a portal from heaven, and she was an angel coming through the womb. Like that's the best way I could explain it, and like. It was just such a surreal feeling. It was really surreal. Like,
right.
And people always say just how beautiful childbirth is, and I'm going into it like, but like I didn't know, like
you didn't really understand.
I didn't know it was that powerful, bro. Like that's a whole soul coming into the world. So like it instantaneously changed my whole outlook on life, instantaneously, and it just like really made me just look at life completely different and look at just really everything differently, like how you interact with people, how I interact with women, how I interact with just life, like how I interact with my own mom, how I interact with my father, because now I understand certain things, why he did what he did, now that I'm a father. So I can connect with my dad better on different levels. I could appreciate my mom different because now I'm a parent, even though I've been a parent only a year, but like I could see certain things. So it instantly changed my outlook on a lot of stuff. So I really appreciate her for that, for sure.
That's good, bro. All right, so we're about to wrap this interview up.
Come on.
And one thing I'm gonna start doing to wrap up all my interviews, we're gonna have this segment called Question of the Day. And your question of the day today will be, would you have a year without social media or a year without your favorite food?
I would 100% do a year without social media because I love food. I need my food.
Yeah.
I'm always eating. Let other people say it.
Good girls. So what's your favorite food?
Favorite food. Shoot. I would probably say I can't even think of a favorite food. So
you're telling me right now, all this social media, you're telling me you don't have a favorite food to like know that you would want to keep for a year?
I can't really think. Like I have a lot of favorite foods. Like I mean,
just give out one.
Shoot, fruit, like melons, smoothies. Like I drink smoothies every day, so I'd probably say smoothies is probably like fruit.
So fruit,
like fruit.
So you can't live without fruit.
Oh no, I need my fruit.
I feel that. I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you, bro.
I really appreciate having me on the show, bro.
All right, y'all. JY 2 times signing out.
Tune in.